Hello, so our project is Buzzing with Knowledge, a fun guide to the world of insects. My name is Trinity Stockel. I am a third year and I will be graduating in the May of 2026, and I am majoring in agriculture and food systems.
Hello, my name is Julian Gangloff. I am also a third year. I am an economics major, graduating in 2026.
Hello, I am Ryan Quraishi. I am a bait major. I'm a sophomore and hopefully graduating 2027. All right, so we are presenting to you guys the Buzzing with Knowledge is our initiative to get the youth into insects.
So the problems that we found are the insect populations are declining at alarming rates, which poses significant environmental challenges. Many people overlook the crucial role of insects play in our ecosystems because of the lack of awareness and their importance. As a society, we often fear insects and unknowingly pass the fear down to younger generations. This cycle is a negative procession of insects, causing children to grow up fearing them instead of understanding them. We often do this with little kids when we say, hey, don't touch any of the insects outside, leave them alone on the plant, stay away from bees, they'll sting you, stay away from spiders, they're scary. And then it also often just causes children to stay away from insects and think that they're all bad, when really they really benefit our ecosystems. So our solution is local schools often fail to teach children about insects and their positive impacts. And to address this issue, we aim to tackle it at its source through education, teaching younger generations how insects contribute by pollinating crops, supporting biodiversity, and maintaining healthy ecosystems. We need to foster appreciation and advocate for these insects and help protect them with potential interest in careers like entomology. So hopefully, by being able to teach the students in school, they might even end up having a career with insects and helping other schools and people have an appreciation for them as well. So some points that we kind of came up with is being able to teach students in the classroom about insects. It could be using YouTube videos. There's Netflix documentary on insects and their benefits, and even through hands-on activities in the classroom by showing them the parts of insects, how they benefit the community, how they pollinate, and their benefit to farmers as well. And some other ideas we also had is creating projects with students outside of the classroom. So some classrooms are able to go outside, they have a lot of area at school, so maybe the schools can create pollination gardens or plots of land so students can plant vegetables or flowers and they're able to observe the insects that come to visit. Depending on what level of education the students are, they could say what kind of insects they see, what colors they are, and maybe the older students, if this is done at a high school or middle school, they can see the difference in the plants, how all these pollinators are coming, maybe name them, the species, and just describe them a little bit more in detail.
So our group's implementation strategy starts off with prioritizing teacher education and training them to effectively convey the importance of insects to children and their students. Secondly, our implementation strategy consists of developing an interactive and engaging learning module to keep teachers motivated and consistently informed on the insects and what may be being just discovered or what may have they might not have learned prior. Thirdly, it's to integrate insect conservation topics into teacher and educator trainings, their curriculums for long-term overall impacts. Fourthly, our implementation strategy consists of focusing on a cost-effective and low-impact approach to insect conservation and the education going along with that to teachers and educators. Fifthly, is to begin with a simple, non-harmful insect like ladybugs or ants or other insects of that nature, where they can be introduced to younger children, aiming more so between the grades of kindergarten going up to third grade as an easing in process to the idea and education of insects and their benefits. And finally, it is our implementation strategy consists of using a hands-on classroom activity, such as arts and crafts, covering insects, whether it is their benefits or random facts, or even coloring a picture of a specific insect to children, as well as small insect-friendly gardens at education institutions and schools to teach biodiversity and ecosystems to children learning about them. So our curriculum progression goes as follows. Firstly, we want to gradually introduce complex topics as students advance, such as the role of bees in pollination, projects like building bee hotels or visiting local beekeepers, to integrate sustainability lessons into other subjects, as well as encourage student-led projects for long-term impact. Along with that, we want to incorporate a community engagement through both partnering with local garden clubs, environmental organizations, and universities, along with involving parents in school projects to broaden the reach and the impact of this curriculum. So our year-by-year phased implementation plan goes as follows. As far as year one, the pilot program for kindergarten through third grade students will be installed, along with the hands-on activities mostly focused on pollinators, such as gardening and insect observation in terms of bees, butterflies, and other insects similar. And also in year one, we plan to build community partnerships aligned with insect conservation acts. In year two, we plan to expand our program including fourth and fifth graders, along with the kindergarten through third graders. We plan to, in year two, introduce advanced lessons on bees and pollination systems within our ecosystems around the world. And along with that, we plan to incorporate field trips and student-led initiatives to further introduce students of these ages, of these target ages, to the idea of pollinators and insects as a whole. Year three, our plan is to fully integrate the program into a school district curriculum, whether it is our local community or on a larger scale, such as a town, a state, or even nationwide. And secondly, in year three, we plan to host community events and spread awareness campaigns. Fourth year, we plan to focus on sustainability and regional scaling as far as the initiatives within our implementation plan. And finally, in the fourth year, we plan to assess long-term impact on student behaviors and environmental awareness within this topic. As far as classroom engagement, we plan to enact a couple of hands-on activities. One, for example, could be to raise butterflies within the classroom to observe their life cycle. Another idea could be to create pollinator gardens where students can log observations of said insects within that garden. Additionally, urban school alternatives could be using documentaries and educational videos in regard to insect life cycles, along with their native plants that they interact with. And finally, as far as classroom engagement, we could enact an advanced project for older students through researching urbanization impact on insect populations as a whole, along with creating a social media account and posting in regard to highlighting specific insects and their benefits to both the ecosystem and their effects on human success and well-being.
So what we want our goal to be with this whole implementation, with this education, is we want to aim to shift the negative perception of insects among young students. We don't want these students to fear insects anymore. We don't want these students to run away from a bee or run away from a spider or ant or butterfly. Well, we want them to actually be involved and be interested with these insects. We want to focus on raising awareness about insect conservation and their critical role, environmental roles. So for even young students and older students, we want them to see that insects are not just scary. We want them to see that they have a positive impact to the environment. They pollinate plants. They're good for the environment. And if we don't have these bugs, then our environment is gonna be not good. It will be messed up. We need bugs and insects to survive in our climate. We want to challenge the common view of insects as harmful or dirty, emphasizing their harmlessness, benefits to the ecosystem, and contributions to pollination and plant life. We want to highlight the urgent need for conservation efforts to address the declining insect population, especially among the older students, because the older students, they can grow up to be entomologists, and we can really hone in on their interests, and they can do more to help the spread awareness about the declining population. We want to foster a deeper appreciation for insects among students, so then we can have more students going into the field of entomology. We want to support a broader conservation efforts by enhancing the public knowledge. And we want to lastly ensure the program sustainability through affordable and impactful implementation strategies. So what are some potential challenges with this whole implementation? First off, we want to ensure the challenge is ensuring continuous high quality teacher education on insect conservation. We don't want the teachers to be giving very boring or very uninformational lessons to kids about these insects. We want these teachers to give very good, very engaging lessons about bees and ants and butterflies to these kids. So our solution is to use accessible, enjoyable training methods to maintain engagement. We want to incorporate using videos. We want to incorporate using coloring and drawing. We want to incorporate students actually seeing these insects and at least touching the insects, watching them go about their lives, like watching ants in an anthill or watching bees pollinate a plant. We want it to be enjoyable for both the teacher and the student. Another challenge that schools may face is the limited funding in certain school districts for program implementation. And we know that some schools don't have enough resources to do this bug program that we have. And we understand that some schools can't do a garden or can't purchase beehives or can't buy an anthill. And we understand that. So we want to explore cost-effective strategies to integrate the initiative sustainably. So it doesn't have to be beehives or anything of that sort. It could be free things too, like watching YouTube videos or watching movies or reading a textbook or reading books in general or doing coloring sheets for students, like younger students. It doesn't have to be expensive things. It just has to be things where students can be learning about insects. So what are our expected outcomes of this initiative? We want an increased knowledge of pollinators and their importance. We want student leadership in environmental initiatives with bugs. We want a stronger community engagement with bugs. And we want a creation of a long-lasting culture of sustainability in schools and local communities over these insects. And the reason why we want these expected outcomes, or this is the expected outcomes, is we want this future generation to learn about these insects and truly appreciate their importance. Because I feel like now us, me, Trinity, and Julian, we never learned anything about insects in school other than this class. We never learned the true importance of what insects can do. And we want the future generation to learn about these insects so they can teach their future generation about how important insects are. Because we need to learn about these things and we need to learn about these initiatives so then insects will prosper in the future. Thank you. Hopefully you enjoyed our presentation and have a good day.